Before I got into the program, I was, um, man, so much on that has happened in the last like year. But before I got in the program, I originally working in childcare. I taught pre-K for about 7.5 years. I worked at a Ford dealership for a little bit, and I thought everything was going smooth at the time. I guess I was constantly living with different people, different in and out of relationships. So I never really had a stable place, I would say, after probably like 2015 ish. So my number one issue wasn't wanting to sit down and take responsibility for my actions. I wasn't financially responsible. I didn't really care to listen to anybody who had experience and wanted me to do better. I always assumed that I knew everything. I think financial stability, like financial responsibility, is one of my big issues because what I realized is no matter how much money I had, I was always messing up. Having more money would never fix my problems. And then also in the time that I thought I was doing well when I wasn't, I wasn't even close to walking, through the spirit. I wasn't trying to live that lifestyle. I was trying to just like take control over it by myself. I was kind of just like my own God to me. Whenever I was in Mesquite, well, I learned about the program because I was in Mesquite one day and I was going through some situation. I forgot exactly what, but I ended up not having anywhere to go. And I met these guys and I stayed in one of these guys' shed for like probably like 3 days. And then eventually I ended up going to my grandmother's house. But while I was living at my grandmother's house, I got into it with her. I ended up moving with a friend. Me and her got into it. And I ended up basically on the streets. So I found an apartment to stay in for a couple of days. It was an abandoned apartment. And then at some point, I went out to my godmother's for a couple of nights. I stayed out there, and she, I'm grown. She didn't want to take care of me like that, so I understood that. So she gave me about $10 and said, just go back to Dallas and figure something out. I had all my stuff with me. I was walking around in downtown Dallas, and I went to Dallas Life Foundation. I couldn't get in there because I was missing certain information. I got into the bridge. I got there early enough, so I was able to eat breakfast and all of that. They were telling me about UGM, and I became a client at UGM probably about 6, 7 months ago, or 8, I think. I'm not sure, but I heard about the program, but everything I heard about the program was terrible. You know, it was everybody who was talking down on the program either got kicked out, they dropped out of it, or they were never in it. So whenever the time came for me to kind of decide whether or not I wanted to join, I ended up in another situation that put me in the hospital. And I kind of just took the time out. It gave me like a peace of mind in the time I was there, even though I was there for a bad reason. It gave me a peace of mind to really just sit and think like, what do I want? Where do I want to see myself a year from now? I have a son. I got to do something. So while I was in the hospital, I guess that's when I kind of just surrendered over to God and said, take control. I'm done. Because every time I tried to take control, I ended up in a worse and worse situation. And when that happened, my family couldn't contact me for 3 days. I couldn't speak to nobody for 3 days. And whenever I got out the hospital, while I was in the hospital, I said I was going to join the program. So ever since I've been in the program, I loved it. There's a lot of things that I'm having to get used to, a lot of things you're having to sacrifice. And one of the main sacrifices you got to make is privacy, which I think helps because in the real world, when you do get back on your own, you're going to have more privacy. So maybe you appreciate a little bit more. But being in the program, it's helped me learn to understand my situation better, how I got where I ended up, what can I do to avoid being back in the same situation. It grew my relationship with the Lord tremendously because before I got in the program, I believed that I had everything and I didn't. If you don't have the word, you have nothing. So ever since I've been in the program, though, I think I'm doing great because right now I'm actually in school. One of the chaplains were able to help us get a grant to go back to school. So right now I'm in school to be a pharmacy technician. So I have school Monday through Thursday at Richland College. But I'm learning a lot. My relationship with my family has grown. I've forgiven myself. I've forgiven certain people in my life that I felt that hurt me. That I don't feel like I deserve to be hurt by them. I've had family that's forgiven me. My relationship has grown closer to my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my uncle, my grandmother, my grandfathers. I can't, you know, it amazes me how less than like a couple of months ago where I was compared to now. And it, I mean, it's just a shocker on how once you just like give your life over to God, how things can change. For anybody who needs help and, you know, they're hesitant about joining the program or they don't think it'll work, it does. It does work. And one thing I can say in all honesty, it only works if you allow it to. If you allow God to, you know, take control, you can get through it just fine. It's not gonna be easy. You might, you know, you're gonna be out of your comfort zone. That's one thing you're gonna have to might as well just get used to. You're not gonna ever be in your comfort zone at all times. So just you're gonna have to get out your comfort zone. You're gonna have to accept the things that you're having to get done in order to progress and move forward, so you can succeed in the areas that you want to succeed in. But you got to always remember God's going to be there with you, and you are not in control. God is. Yeah. If I would have never joined the program, I think I would be either in jail, dead, or somewhere in the hospital. Because I had a really bad temper at times, and it doesn't necessarily meant that I had to take it out on somebody else. I would take it out on myself. I think that was, you know, something that I needed to really deal with at times. And then my family, I had a habit of disappearing to where my family couldn't contact me. But the fact that I have not ever ended up in jail, the only reason why I was in jail is for a seatbelt ticket. But I'm really blessed the fact that I have never ever really ended up with the, you know, in court over something serious, or haven't ended up hurt to the point to where, you know, my family had to, you know, decide to pull a plug or something. So I'm pretty sure this is, you know, this is the best peace of mind I've ever had in a long time. This is the happiest I've ever been in a long time. Like, I wake up grateful every morning because of the fact that I have an opportunity to wake up. My mom's not mourning me. I still have an opportunity to see my son again. I have an opportunity to do better with myself, you know, and my testimony isn't for me, it's for the next person, because there's going to be somebody else out there who's going to be going through something similar down that, like my situation. And I'm only 25. Like, if I can influence anybody, like, I would want it to be someone near my age, so they can, you know, see like, hey, if that gentleman's only in his 20s, he can do it, I can do it too. I mean, I'm not done with the program, but I know I'm gonna finish it. I'm Kyran. This is my story. Thank you for watching Overcomers TV.